보는 그런 시각으로 보는 사람들도 아마 우리가 이 바다를 훌륭한 시간을 보내고 있는 것에 대해서 아마 마치 환상 영화의 한 장면처럼 이렇게 보는 사람들이 있을 거라고 생각합니다.
Because there are people who are welcoming this meeting. There were people who had remained skeptical about this meeting, but I'm sure that all of them would be watching the moment that we're sitting together, side by side, as if they're watching a fantasy movie.
그 사이 우리는 많이 노력도 해왔고 이젠 그것을 보여줄 때가 됐다고 보여줄 때가 와서 이렇게 마주 걸어서 여기 베트남 하노이 와서 이틀째 지금 저 훌륭한 대화를 이어가고 있습니다.
So we have made a lot of efforts so far, and we thought that now it's time for us to come to Hanoi, sit together, and then have this wonderful dialogue.
오늘도 역시 훌륭한 최종적으로 그런 좋은 결과가 나올 수 있도록 모든 노력을 하겠습니다.
And let me assure you that I will do all my best to bring a good result ultimately today. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much, Chairman Kim, and it's great to be with you again, and I'm sure over the years we'll be together a lot, and I think we'll also be together after the fact, meaning after the deal is made. We had very good discussions last night at dinner, and the pre-dinner was very good, and there are a lot of great ideas being thrown about. I think very importantly, the relationship is, just very strong. And when you have a good relationship, a lot of good things happen. So I can't speak necessarily for today, but I can say that just a little bit longer term and over a period of time, I know we're going to have a fantastic success with respect to Chairman Kim in North Korea. They're going to have an economic powerhouse. I've been writing about it. I've been talking about it. I think it's going to be an economic powerhouse. And it's something I very much look forward to helping with, because with a little bit of help in the right location, in the right place, I think it's going to be something very special. Please.
네, 대단히 감사합니다. 오늘 다시 함께하게 되어서 매우 기쁘게 생각합니다. 또 앞으로 오늘 말고도 많이 만날 거라고 생각이 됩니다. 그리고 또 어떠한 합의가 이룬 후에도 우리는 계속 만남을 지속할 것입니다. 우리는 어제 만찬 중에 그리고 또 만찬 전에 상당히 좋은 여러 가지 아이디어를 주고받았습니다. 우리 가장 중요한 것은 우리 양국의 관계가 굉장히 강하다라는 것입니다. 또 관계가 좋으면 좋은 일이 많이 일어날 것입니다. 오늘뿐만 아니라 중기적으로 장기적으로 우리는 상당히 성공을 이룰 것이라고 생각합니다. 김 위원장 그리고 또 북조선에 대해서 제가 여러 번 말씀드렸습니다마는 경제적인 강국이 될 수 있는 잠재력을 많이 가지고 있습니다. 나는 그것에 대해서 많이 기대하고 있고 우리가 앞으로 좋은 성공 또 많은 합의를 이루기를 기대하겠습니다.
I've been saying very much from the beginning that speed is not that important to me. I very much appreciate no testing of nuclear rockets, missiles, any of it. Very much appreciate it. And Chairman Kim and I had a great talk about that last night. I'd let him say what he said if he'd like to, and if he doesn't have to. But we had a very good talk about that last night. And again, I am in no rush. We don't want the testing, and we've developed something very special with respect to that. But I just want to say I have great respect for Chairman Kim, and I have great respect for his country, and I believe that it will be something economically that will be almost hard to compete with for many countries. It has such potential. Okay?
네, 처음부터 제가 얘기했습니다마는 그 속도가 가장 중요한 것은 아니다라고 나는 생각합니다. 또 중요한 것은 지금까지 핵실험이라든지 로켓 실험이라든지 이런 것이 전혀 없었다는 데 대해서 김 위원장께 감사를 드립니다. 또 어제 우리 둘이 얘기할 때 김 위원장이 하신 발언, 뭐 지금 하셔도 좋고 안 하셔도 좋습니다마는 거기에 대해서 제가 감사의 말씀을 표했습니다. 저는 그냥 서두를 그런 생각은 없습니다. 하지만 우리가 굉장히 특별한 것을 지금 하고 있다. 특별한 관계를 가지고 있다라고 생각하고 김 위원장과 또 북조선에 많은 존경심을 가지고 있습니다. 내가 보기에 북조선이 가진 그런 잠재력은 어느 나라와도 경쟁할 수 없을 만큼 그런 특별하고 강한 그런 잠재력이라고 생각합니다. 됐습니다. 다 끝났습니다.
우리한테 시간이 귀중한데 우리한테 좀 편안한 시간 주시고 우리 이야기
Thank you all very much. We're going to start a discussion now with our teams, and thank you all very much.
Now, we have our Kim Min-ji, our political correspondent here at Arirang News, joining me in the studio. What are we looking at here, Min-ji?
Well, from what we have learned, the one-on-one meeting between Kim and Trump has come to an end, and here we can see footage of the two leaders accompanied by their top aides. We can see Kim Yong-Chol, the North Korea's top nuclear negotiator, who is also a former spy chief. We saw briefly there U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo. We can see that the leaders are accompanied by their translators as well.
Yes, Kim Yong-Chol, often described as Kim Jong-un's right-hand man. He's the official who's been to the White House to speak personally with President Trump in the Oval Office. So those two know each other very well. He's the official that delivers the letters from the North Korean leader to President Trump. They have gone back inside, perhaps just getting some fresh air ahead of the expanded meeting. Secretary Mike Pompeo, America's top diplomat, joining those talks, as well as the acting White House Chief of Staff, Mike Mulvaney, as well as Kim Yong-Chol and the North Korean official who is also joining is Kim Yo-jong. That is Kim Jong-un's sister, or is it someone else?
No, she will not be joining.
She won't be joining?
Yeah, she won't be joining. She was anticipated to join the dinner last night, but she wasn't part of the dinner list either.
Well, we can see her in the background there, I think, holding the handbag. She's in charge of ushering the North Korean officials around. She seems to do an exceptional job of making sure everything runs like clockwork. When you're the leader of North Korea, you have to make sure that is the case. Reading into body language, it looks as though they are having a reasonably good discussion. Hard to read too much off President Trump's face, not much going on there expression-wise, but North Korean leader Kim Jong-un seems relatively content with what's happening thus far. As the chyron on the screen says there, the two sides are expected to discuss denuclearization and corresponding measures the United States can give back to North Korea if that is the case. I'm happy to say that James Kim of the Asan Institute is back here joining us. It was just a short break, and we appreciate you coming back. Looking at the replay of the video there, James, is there anything we can read into that? It looks fairly cordial.
Well, it's a smaller group than what we saw last night at the dinner. We don't have Mick Mulvaney and we don't have Yong-Ho, right? So we've got the two translators on both sides. We have Kim Yong-Chol and Mike Pompeo, along with the two leaders there. So it looks like a very informal kind of sightseeing kind of activity. They're kind of taking a look around the hotel.
Well, as you mentioned, most of the groundwork will have been done at the working level prior to this summit. So we're talking Began and Kim Hyuk-chol, who have been working feverishly in the background to make sure everything is ready. That is pretty much the case in most of these summits, right? It's basically the 99% of things are done up until the day of the summit, and the summit is mostly ceremonial.
That's how it should be.
Yeah.
Some of the reports coming out of from last night and today early morning, though, suggest that there are certain issues that the working level folks haven't been able to close the gap on. So it looks like the two leaders will have some work to do there. And I would imagine that that would be on the sticky issue of denuclearization, which is probably the most important issue.
Right.
And given the signals that the president has given out just this morning, I'm not so sure at the moment whether we're going to get something meaningful here. But in any case, I'm holding out hope.